Welcome to another episode of the Muffed Sports Show. I'm your host Hayden Haynes, and join me this week is just Seth Killen.
Hey guys.
Welcome to the program, everybody. This has been another little hiatus that y'all have had to, endure. We've been moving. Seth's just recently been moving a little bit. Cody actually is not here today. He's still moving back to Alabama. Unfortunately, the gang will not be together for a little while, but we got the Zoom, we got
We got it.
we got that working out, and Cody will be back next week. So, he's just working through some moving stuff. But this episode is just going to be me and Seth. We're going to dive into obviously huge college football playoff games coming up this weekend. We're recording this on a Wednesday, so we got 2 days until I guess one day when you guys are hearing this or watching this until the first playoff game on Friday, which is Indiana Notre Dame. So we're going to preview all those first round games, and then we're going to get into obviously NFL, which is 3 weeks left until playoffs. A lot of teams are in the hunt still. Some teams are unfortunately they've been out for a while now out of the hunt, and we're going to talk about the playoff picture as it stands through Week 15, and then we're going to just look through the games for Week 16 and make our predictions on that. But really, that's it. If there's anything else, we obviously will bring up as we go on through the show throughout the show. I kind of had some topics on NBA and stuff like that I wanted to talk about next week. So stay tuned for that because we got some controversy in the NBA, a lot of ratings talk, a lot of problems going on in the NBA world. But we'll talk about that next week. Just a little foreshadowing of that. So right now, stick with the football. That's where we're centered right now, mainly focused on because it's obviously playoff season. So,
Oh yeah.
anything you want to get off first? I think anything you're feeling about. I mean, you can talk about fantasy real quick if you want. You can say,
Do you really want me to talk about fantasy, bro?
I was just trolling. I'm just trolling. All right,
Dude,
I just had to set Seth up for a
all
minute.
I've seen all day, DeAndre Swift questionable, Tony Pollard questionable, Westbrook
Yeah,
questionable, CeeDee Lamb questionable,
yeah.
Justin Herbert questionable.
So
I'm
let's let
cooked.
everybody know real quick. Actually, if Seth's in the toilet bowl in our dynasty league, he barely missed out on the playoff,
Barely.
like the last person to miss out. We have 12 teams. He was the seventh team, and he lost the first round barely in the toilet bowl. So now he's fighting for his life because in the next 2 weeks, we're about to find out if he's going to have to do the league punishment, which is the 30 unit challenge. And for those who don't know, the 30 unit
Mm-mm.
challenge
Mm-mm.
is it's between hot dogs, alcohol, basically beer, but Seth will probably do a twisted tea. So let's just say hot dogs, beer, and miles, and you have to add them up to 30 total. So it can be, 10 miles, 10 hot dogs, 10 beers, 20 beers, 10 hot dogs, no miles, whatever you want to do, as long as it equals 30.
Probably
And
just
Seth,
slam
yeah,
20 brews on the
20,
golf course,
and then 10 hot dogs,
and then 10 hot
or
dogs
a
or
few hot
10
dogs and just
miles.
walk some miles on the course.
Yep. I think 5 hot dogs, 5 miles.
And I'll gladly join you in that, just
There,
for
there we go.
fun.
Hey, you got to make it
Well,
happen.
this just wanted to start the show with something lighthearted. Maybe
Yeah,
not for
man.
you, but anyway, Seth's still fighting, man. You can't deny that. Well, hey, you could be like me and the Twizzies. I was 4-10 in that league. Down tremendous, just lost in the first round of the toilet bowl, but in the dynasty, I am in first and I got the bye. But who knows? Will I sell? Probably, probably. But the guy I'm playing this week, he's got a good squad, but he just lost David Montgomery, so that's an advantage.
Oh, that's huge. That's
So
Nate. Wait, no, it's not
no,
Nate.
it's Mason, it's
Yeah,
Guillermo. So yeah.
Guillermo.
Anyways, we'll talk about fantasy a little bit more, maybe at the end of the show, maybe next week with Cody. So Cody's in the hunt, man. Cody's in the semis in both
Cody is
leagues.
in the hunt,
And when
bro.
is he not?
Cody has
When
never
is he
not been
not?
in the hunt.
It's a ball knower right there. All right,
Certified
so
gold mine.
college football playoff though, we got our 12 teams. Obviously, had some controversy going into that last selection week, and Bama got left out. SMU got in because essentially SMU barely lost to Clemson in their championship game, so they got in. So to say all that, we have pretty much a very interesting playoff. A lot of different teams that we weren't expecting. So one of those teams is playing Friday night in the very first playoff game of the new 12-team format, and that is Indiana at Notre Dame. Now, Indiana, Seth, basically,
Yeah.
they're a basketball school. They're not a football school normally. They haven't been good in a long time. That's just, one of those things where you just don't think about Indiana football, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we'll put some respect on their name. Their coach, His name is Kurt Signetti. Okay, we've talked about him on the show a little bit. Me and Cody are very high on him. He coached at James Madison. They were a smaller school, obviously, that he kind of brought up to a top 25 program, and then he got offered this job. And then he did so well this year that he extended like a 8 year or signed an 8 year deal, I should say. So he's there for Indiana for a while. So to say all that, they're 11-1. They didn't play a hard schedule. Their hardest game was Ohio State. They got dog walked.
Yep.
So a lot of people think they're not that good. They don't deserve to be in. Now, I'm a believer in Indiana to a degree. I don't think they're one of the best teams in the country. I think they're solid. They're coached well. They got a good defense. They got an okay quarterback. But let's preview this game. They're playing Notre Dame. Notre Dame's 7.5 point favorites. Okay, Notre Dame has not made a national championship game since, or national championship run since 1988, their longest title drought since winning their first championship in 1924. So it's a big deal for Notre Dame playing at home. Obviously hosting a home playoff game for the first time is really cool. And then you're
Oh yeah.
playing Indiana, who's a in-state opponent. Like both the schools are in the state of Indiana, so it's kind of a little mini rivalry, even though they're not like normally a rivalry. But to say all that, you're playing an in-state opponent first round of playoffs. That's going to be kind of cool, just
Oh
from
yeah.
first round fantasy or not fantasy, but fan standpoint, getting those fans from both schools into that stadium, packing it out. But I've also seen like a lot of people are worried about these playoff games and having like all the fans there because one, it's Christmas, and so like everybody's going home, like all the college students for the most
Oh yeah.
part. And then the ticket prices are like cheap. Like you could actually go to these games for like $60.
I
So
saw
like,
that
yeah,
earlier
like
today.
the playoff committee didn't think about, or the playoff, whoever started out, these dates and putting them into place, they didn't think about how much that would be a problem. So
No
we'll see if
problem.
that
Yeah.
ever changes. But we know in 2 years this format will probably change. So to say all that, I'm yapping.
Yep.
But let's break down the teams. Indiana. All right. They are scoring 43.3 points, the most of any playoff team, and have one of the FBS's stingiest defenses. So basically, they haven't played a lot of opponents. Maybe that's why they're scoring so much. 43.3 is still impressive.
Yeah.
Now, Notre Dame, they also have a great defense, one of the best all season, even though they've dealt with a lot of injuries. Now, one of those injuries was defensive tackle Howard Cross, the third. He is going to play Friday after missing the last 3 games, so that's a good pickup back for them. Now, Indiana, they lead the nation in fewest yards, rushing yards per game allowed, 70.8, and then 2.46 yards per carry. So they're a good defense, just like Notre Dame. Even in their loss against Ohio State, they rushed 29 times for just 115 yards. So the Hoosiers do know where they must begin if they want to advance against Notre Dame. So, and that being said, is there anything off the top of your head? I know you're more of the NFL guy on the podcast.
Yeah.
Cody, a little bit more the college guy. I would say I feel good about the
Both. Yeah.
college and the NFL, but I feel
Yeah.
like this year it's hard to tell for me with college because it's like Indiana hasn't played a lot of good teams, so I don't really know how good they are,
I
right?
think I personally think Indiana's getting smacked.
Yeah, so Cody,
I
let's go
think
through
they're getting
Cody's
dog walked.
prediction.
Yeah.
He sent us over here. Cody has a score prediction of Notre Dame 42-20. Notre Dame's line work and able to run the ball will win them the game in their stifling defense. Okay, so I agree with
I think
Cody.
I agree 100%. Like you said,
Yeah,
Indiana hasn't played a lot of big defenses.
yeah. So
And
it's a big one,
you said something about Ohio State. They played Ohio State and they got dog walked.
right?
So I think the same thing's gonna happen with Notre Dame if they can't play a defense.
Yeah. So I think they'll lose. I think they're going to lose to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I do think Notre Dame wins, but I don't think they're going to get absolutely dog walked because they also have a solid defense.
Yeah. And
But
they have a
the
high scoring
Right. They score
offense.
they score on offense, but the thing is I do think the under is in play. If anybody's going to be like betting on this, the under whatever it is definitely a good move, I'd say. I think it's going to be closer in the beginning. Maybe Notre Dame pulls away, but the line or the spread is 7.5. I don't know if Notre Dame really covers that. I can see them winning by just a touchdown, but I do think they win. I just have a little bit of hesitancy on picking
Yeah.
Notre Dame in a landslide because they somehow like kind of play everybody close when it really matters or they lose. So
Yeah, it
um,
seems like we're expecting a bit of a defensive battle here.
that's what I'm thinking. But it'll be cool. It'll be a cold. All these games are going to be cold, so it'll be fun to see that. Maybe it snows. Who knows?
That
We'll
would
check
be
the
sick.
forecast before. But yeah, so Notre Dame, they have Riley Leonard, who transferred from Duke as their quarterback. He's been a dual threat. He's really been solid as of late. So I like their defense. I like Riley Leonard. I like their coach, Marcus Freeman. I think I'm gonna go with Notre Dame, but I don't have a specific score. Probably
I
like
like Notre Dame.
24 to 20 or something, 24 to like 17. But
Yeah,
that's kind of where
I
I'm.
like it. I like 27-24.
Yeah. Cody
That's what
went
I'm
with
going
the
with.
Cody's kind of like all
Cody's a
over with these
crazy dude.
scores all the
I
time, man.
know.
Like he might get the picks right, but these are some wild score predictions. Like 42 to 20. I mean, it could happen. It could happen.
It could happen.
Now, moving on to SMU Penn State. Um, this one is interesting because obviously SMU kind of snuck in, even though they lost to Clemson in their last game. But they're in. They're playing at Penn State. Big game for both those schools. Penn State's 8.5 point favorites. Now, Penn State is one of those teams that are always pretty solid. They got a lot of history, tradition. They can't really win those big games. They did almost beat Oregon in the championship game, even though they were down and they wound up coming back. But they're just one of those teams. They're not always out of the game, but they just can't get over that hump. But this is the
Yeah.
start, to make their little run here. They got an easy draw. They got possibly the easiest one with SMU and then at Boise State, which I know you might have to say something about that next week when we talk about Boise State. Um,
Good.
yeah. So Boise State, put some respect on their name for now, but they did, in theory, get a kind of a Penn State got an easier draw. So
Yeah.
both the offenses have been humming, and the loss to Clemson SMU they did roll up 458 yards, including 304 yards passing by their sophomore quarterback Kevin Jennings. Their senior running back Brashard Smith also combined for 147 all-purpose yards, had 113 rushing with one receiving touchdown, and their wide receiver Roderick Daniels Jr., the senior. I said that's so odd, but basically he's a senior, and his name is Roderick Daniels Jr. And he added a team high 8 catches for 97 yards in a score. So both offenses are humming right now. Nittany Lions, I can't speak. Say that 10 times. Nittany Lions, Nittany Lions,
I
Nittany Lions,
don't
Nittany
think
Lions.
that's a good idea.
Nah. Nittany Lions, though, rolled up 523 yards against Oregon in their loss. Their quarterback, Drew Aller, who just said he's going to stay one more year and not go pro. He's kind of a light mini Josh Allen kind of comp.
I did hear y'all
He
talking
did
about.
have 280 yards. He had 4 tutties. He's been up and down at times in his career, but he's playing solid ball this year. They got a running back in Katron Allen and Nicholas Singleton, who both had good games against Oregon. They both had 100 yards, and they're a good tandem back there. So they can score, I feel like, and they can definitely put up points on a lot of good teams, including Oregon. So to say all that, I will take Penn State, and I think they're going to handle SMU. I do think their defense is a little bit too much for them, even though SMU has been good at times on offense. They got a good quarterback and a good coach, but
Yeah,
Penn State at home, that's a big crowd. I
that's a
think
huge crowd.
SMU is not ready for that. So
I
give me
like
Penn
Penn State
State
too.
by a
Yeah,
couple scores, at least 2 tutties or something like that.
I like that. Let's see this Josh Allen boy work.
Yeah, Drew Aller, he's a good young quarterback. I mean, the dude's gonna get he's gonna get comps to Josh Allen, but also I'm sure there'll be other guys he gets compared to. But he's a physical guy and he's got a strong arm, so expect him to be in the NFL soon. Now the next game is probably the more interesting one of the earlier games, I'd say, on Saturday, because this is the first game was SMU Penn State on Saturday at 12. Then Clemson is after Clemson versus Texas. Now Clemson was not supposed to be in the playoff. They beat SMU though for the ACC championship, so they got that automatic bid. But they're the
That's
last seed, so they're the 12th seed. Texas is 5. Texas is 12-point favorites. Quinn Ewers is the Texas quarterback, not Arch Manning for right now, but we'll probably see Arch Manning in the playoffs at some point. And just because Quinn's been banged up, hasn't been playing the
yeah.
greatest. He does have 2,600 yards, 25 tutties, 9 picks, but he's just not looking as crispy as he could be, And I think, yeah,
Do
go
we
ahead.
think? Do we think Bill Belichick's gonna take one? I saw a couple things about Bill Belichick trying to reach out for some
I
All
think he
Star
would he would
QBs
go
here.
after Arch or no, not Arch. He would go after Quinn Ewers because I think Quinn is going to wind up coming back because he's not getting the draft love that he's supposed to be getting. So he
Yeah,
wouldn't get drafted high enough. And I
yeah.
think Arch Manning is the guy for Texas long term. So I feel like they would probably pay Quinn whatever NIL money he wants to go to UNC and be with Bill. So that would be kind of cool to see, honestly.
That would be pretty sick.
But for now, maybe they dual thread it out with both quarterbacks. Give Arch Manning some time to run and extend plays, and then let Quinn dot up a little bit in the pocket and just use both of them. But versus Clemson, I'm interested to see how that goes. The Longhorns are 13-1 in their last 14 home games, so that's a big advantage. While
That is
Clemson has only covered the spread once in their last 6 games against SEC teams, so not good for Clemson.
not looking
Um,
good.
they got a quarterback, junior Cade Klubnik has been putting up numbers this season. 63.7% of his passes completed, but 300 or 3,300 yards, 33 tutties, and then 5 picks. So it's a good ratio. Dude's been looking nice this year at times. They got a running back in Phil Maffa. He's got 1,100 yards and 8 tutties. Now they've won 18 out of their last 19 December games outright under their coach Dabo Sweeney. So they've
Mm,
been in the playoffs a lot. Hasn't been recent, not with this kind of core of players. So it's different for sure. Dabo Sweeney's a good coach. He went to Bama, played a little bit of football there, and then he went to Clemson and beat Bama in the Natty, and he's won another Natty. So he's got 2 natties right there at Clemson. He's looking like their best coach they've ever had, and definitely turning a corner with this team after they won the ACC championship game to get in
yeah,
here. So I just don't think they're going to have enough firepower because Texas's defense is pretty stout. And I do want to say though, Texas has looked shaky on offense. Like their problem is against Georgia. I picked Texas. I think you picked Texas. Cody picked
yeah,
Texas, and they would have won that game, but they did everything to lose. Like they possibly could. So I mean, I think they were committing about double-digit penalties. They didn't score touchdowns. They kicked a bunch of field goals, missed field goals. So that's
yeah.
not a good recipe. But in this game, Texas is more battle tested in a way because they played Georgia twice. They played A&M on the road. They played the SEC schedule better than Clemson's schedule, and I'm just gonna go with a home dog or home team in Texas, and just hope
I
that they
like
can
Texas.
at least score more than 27 points. Because if they do, I think they got it in the bag. So.
Yeah, no,
I don't know if
100%.
they I don't know
It'll
if they
be
cover the 12, maybe win by 10 or something, but I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, it'll be a tough battle for sure.
Yeah, I
But
think
I'd
it's an
like to see
interesting
Texas
game.
win.
Yeah. Big name schools are always fun to see just because
Yeah,
they got a bunch of history and Texas is ready to be back in the mix. But
a lot of stuff on the line here.
right. ACC versus SEC. Now, this was the best game by far. Maybe it won't be, but I do think on paper everybody's ready to see how Ohio State responds after losing to Michigan to end their season when they shouldn't have even came close to losing to them.
Yeah,
And then Tennessee has kind of been forgotten about because they've only lost 2 games. One was to Arkansas on the road early in the year, which was an upset, and then they lost to Georgia on the road, which was expected. But they've fought hard, and I will say they got one of the best defenses in the country as well. One of the best coaches as far as offense goes. A young upcoming star quarterback in Nico Iamaleava, a running back in Dylan Sampson, who's the best running back possibly in the country. And essentially, Tennessee's defense has been a standout unit on third down. They allow opponents to convert just 29% of their attempts, ranking fifth in the nation. Sharp contrast to Ohio State on offense because they convert only 42.7 of their third downs, placing them 45th. So Tennessee's ability to stall their drives on critical downs would actually be pretty decisive factor for them. So this is a big advantage for Tennessee right here on
it
the road.
is.
And Tennessee also, they've excelled at stopping the run. They only allow 99.6 yards per game. That's eighth in the country. Ohio State, though, have a good running attack, averaging 169.2 yards per game. And two of the better running backs would Travion Henderson and Quinshawn Judkins, a.k.a. the NCAA cheat code before it got
Yeah,
nerfed.
I took advantage of that.
Yeah, Seth was in love with that for a minute. And they have definitely been disappointing to say the least at times, but they have a lot of firepower. They got great wide receivers in Igmika Buka. They have the freshman standout, Jeremiah Smith. He's a physical wide receiver, kind of looks like Julio Jones at times. So they got all these guys. It's just their quarterback, Will Howard, is a transfer quarterback from Kansas State. And he's looking good at times, but he's also looking bad. And I don't know
Yeah,
how much they can do against this Tennessee defense consistently. I do think it's going to be an ugly game at times. I feel like both defenses are really good. Both offenses tend to stall a lot, like a lot. So I think this could be one of those games that is in the 20s, in the low 20s, like 23-20, 23-24, close game. And I'm actually going with the upset in Tennessee here because I think Ohio State just doesn't have that like mental fortitude right now since they just lost to Michigan and got upset. And I just think, yeah, they'll be pissed off. Maybe they'll want to prove a statement, and maybe they do. But I'm gonna go with Tennessee, who's low key got more upside in my opinion, at least on defense. And I think they're gonna barely edge them out right here. Just a close game, 23-20.
Oh man, I gotta go. I mean, I like what you're saying, and I think it's very realistic. And I think Tennessee probably has this in the bag, but I want my Buckeyes to win.
And they are favored. Buckeyes are favored by 7.5, so they got that going
Just
for
just
them.
because the name, the Ohio State
Yeah,
Buckeyes.
yeah,
I
we'll see.
want I want Ohio State. Give me Ohio State. I'm gonna go 42-35.
Oh, a shootout. So you think
Mhm.
defenses aren't going to really matter,
I
even
think they
though
can
it's
do
going to be
that.
cold, brother. It's going to be cold up there.
Yeah, but they used to that, or at least
Yeah,
Ohio State
well, it gets
is.
cold in Tennessee too.
Yeah.
We'll see though. I mean, it's going to be a fun game. I think at night, it'll be rowdy. They got that going for them. So
Oh yeah,
Tennessee's
no, that's gonna be
Tennessee's
lit.
got to be ready. But
And
to
it's in
say all
Ohio
that,
State, right?
yeah, Tennessee at Ohio
Yeah, it's
State.
over.
We'll see,
Yeah, it's
man.
over.
We'll
It's
see.
over.
I just don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in their coach Ryan Day, but we'll see, man.
It's okay, man. It doesn't matter about
Also,
the
Tennessee's
coach.
got a low key nasty quarterback when he wants to be, and Will Howard's
Yeah, that's true.
he's okay, but it's
Who's
like
their name? Yeah.
Nico, the Tennessee quarterback, has been bad against or mid against good teams and good against bad teams. So maybe this is a game that he actually balls out against a good team. Who knows?
Yeah, that'd be
Um,
nice.
let's see. We got to go back. Sorry, Cody's predictions though. We kind of missed out on some of his
Yeah, we
predictions.
did.
Wait, okay. SMU Penn State. We didn't do his. Penn
We didn't do
State.
any of them besides the first one.
Cody has Penn State 33-30. Same as the game before. I think the better line work proves itself, and that Penn State defense really steps up in the first half, but SMU rallies only to fall short. That's what Cody's prediction is.
Wow, that's a crazy thing to say.
And now he's got Texas over Clemson. Mauls Clemson 38-24, he says. Texas too much
Mm.
offense and defense steps up in the second half. Clemson stays close in the first, but gets derailed in the second half, same as the Clemson Georgia game from the first year. Okay.
Wow.
And then finally, he's got Ohio State in a nail biter, 31-28, back and forth in contest the whole game. No team is the edge over the other, but Ohio State definitely has a better roster. But Tennessee is more battle tested. But this comes down to who has the ball last and who ends up winning the game. And I believe that will be Ohio State.
Sounds like we got a ball nowhere on our
It
hands.
sounds like we got some ball knowers, but we'll see who the real one is. We'll see who the real one is.
Yeah, and it's gonna
I
be me
don't
and
even
Cody.
like Tennessee, brother. I'm just
I
thinking.
know.
I got a
I know
feeling.
you're thinking realistically.
I don't know though. They're not favored. I'm going with
Yeah.
the dog. That's
You're
the
going with
only
the
upset that
underdogs.
I have.
You gonna put a
Only.
bid on that?
Yeah. Put a bet on it. I put 100 bands on it.
All right. Bet. a
I
hundred
put a.
bands.
I put 100 bands.
100 bands on
I think
Bron Bron now.
on Braun running. No, where is that guy at?
I don't know, but
I
I
gotta
know he's
find
making
him.
something funny.
Well, now on to the NFL because that's the first round. We're only going to do the first round,
Yeah.
obviously, because we got a lot of stuff to talk about with Cody after
Mm-hmm.
the first round. We're going to recap that next week and then preview round two. But for the NFL playoff picture right now, just quickly on the AFC side, for the wild card, we would have the Chargers as a 7 seed going to the Buffalo Bills. And then we'd have the Broncos as a 6 seed going to your Steelers.
I think we
Y'all would
we
beat them.
matched them.
Yeah, y'all would beat them again, but it'd be better than the first time around. But
No, it
y'all
would.
would beat them. And then Ravens at the Texans. So I mean, that's a challenge at least to go on the road for the Ravens, but they probably win that game. So to say all that, Bills, Steelers, and Ravens could make it out, and then they got the 1 seed Kansas City Chiefs to deal with still. But on the NFC side, the wild card is looking like the 7 seed, and this could change. 3 games left,
Mm-hmm.
but we got 7 seed Washington Commanders at the Eagles, who actually played this week, and it's in Washington. Second time they've played, but they got that for the that'd be crazy if they played 3 times. But it happens, it's the NFL. And then you have
Yeah.
the Packers as the 6 seed going to the Bucks, and then the Vikings as the 5 seed going to the Rams. That Vikings at Rams. Remember that game on a Thursday night where it was like Sam Darnold's face mask got ripped and they didn't call
Yes,
it?
sir. I didn't call it. Yep.
Yeah. Now they
That's the
got a chance to
replay.
get revenge
Yep.
at the Rams. And then the Lions are the 1 seed, but they're banged up on defense. So
Dude, the Lions are sad, man.
and they lost David Montgomery.
Dude, it's so sad, bro. They're falling apart right before playoffs. I feel
Yeah.
awful
Do
for
you
them.
see? Do you see Aiden Hutchinson's like, I'm on track to come back for the Super Bowl?
No way.
Yeah, and they're like, buddy, you
Dude,
gotta make it to the Super
if
Bowl.
he makes it back for the Super Bowl and then he has like a crazy like 4 or 5 sack game
He might go down as like one of the goats,
as one of the all-time goats.
especially if his career turns out to be like what it's supposed to be, him just getting MVPs and stuff, or
Yeah,
Defensive Player of the Year awards, I should say.
he
But
would have
yeah,
got it this year, I bet, 100%. He
so
was leading the league in sacks
he
before he
was
got moved.
yeah, he was definitely gonna get that.
He was gonna get that
If he does
100%.
come back, is there a chance you put a bet on
Oh,
him to
man.
win Super Bowl MVP?
Ooh,
I mean,
wait,
the odds would be insane on that.
dude, has a defensive player even won
I
an
don't know.
MVP?
It's probably happened a couple times. I'll pull it up, but like
I'm gonna be like,
he's not gonna be in the top 5 or 10 in the odds. I'll tell you that.
um,
Let's see. Has a defensive player won the super? This is probably like it's obvious, but we're just not thinking about it.
I want to
Um,
say it's like Deion Sanders,
I
but
feel like it would be like Lawrence Taylor or something.
I
Only
can see
10
that.
defensive players have been named Super Bowl MVP. The last one was Von Miller for the Broncos
Wow, wow,
against
I
the
just remembered
Panthers.
about that.
So it could happen, man.
Ew,
It could actually
ew,
happen.
ew.
That's crazy though.
Broncos and Panthers? That's Super Bowl.
That was the
No wonder a defensive player won that.
oh man, let's see who else
All
is
right,
in
Caleb.
here. We had Oh yeah, this was random, but Malcolm Smith was a linebacker for the Seahawks whenever they beat the Patriots in that crazy game with that
Mm-hmm.
was random. And then I forgot about that. Dexter Jackson, a safety for the Bucks. Ray Lewis won, I believe Super Bowl 35. And then Larry Brown, Cowboys corner. Richard Dent, Bears defensive end. And then Harvey Martin and Randy White for the Cowboys. Jake Scott for the Dolphins. And then a lot of Cowboys have won it. Chuck Howley for the Cowboys. So
Nah, the
it's
Cowboys.
possible. Now, with this playoff, is there anything? I know your Steelers are you're thinking they're going to go all the
Hmm.
way,
They are.
but who in the
Next
NFC,
question.
who in the NFC do you think is going to make a run? Because it's looking
Mhm.
tough. It's looking really tough. Some scary
I
teams
mean,
out of the
I could
NFC.
see the Packers making a run for sure.
Yeah,
The Packers, I mean, maybe the Rams. I don't know. I want to say
the
the
Rams are looking
Vikings.
nice. Vikings are looking nice.
Yeah, I know. But
But
if it's like a low money, like who is
like
an
odds,
underdog kind
yeah.
of, yeah, I think Packers could really take it.
So let's say this. All right, let's just say this is the Packers' route. They would have to beat the Bucks in Tampa. Say they
Mm-hmm.
do. I think they can do it. And now their next game, let's just say hypothetically,
It's
because
gonna be the Eagles.
they reseed. So like,
Oh
well,
yeah, that's right.
let's see. Who do you think off the top of your head would win Rams Vikings?
Mm, Rams.
Okay, so Rams win. They're the 4 seed, and then Eagles would beat the Commanders.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 1 seed is the Lions. They'd play the lowest seed left, so that would be the Packers.
Yep.
Okay, so they have battled twice already. Do you think? I think the Packers can beat them
I
a
think
third
they could,
time.
especially with the banged up defense.
Right. So Packers go back to Detroit, get a win, and then they play in the NFC Championship game, possibly against the next matchup would actually be
So,
in the divisional round. It would be Eagles versus the Rams. Who would win that?
I want to say the Eagles. I
Eagles.
mean, I just think that
Yeah.
offense, if they're playing like they are, and they just
So
get to the goal line, and I mean that's an automatic touchdown.
so Eagles, and then that would be Eagles versus Packers, and they
I
played
could see the
week.
Packers winning that.
Yeah, they played week 1 and the Packers lost. So I mean, at Philly though, that's a tough place.
This is a tough place in the
Packers can do it,
championship.
man. They're looking nice.
They could, but I think the Eagles probably take it. Dude, if it's Eagles Chiefs again, I'm just gonna not watch.
Well, that was a great Super Bowl. That was a great
I'm
Super Bowl.
gonna
But this year I don't want to see it. So
see
let's go.
Steelers Eagles again.
All right. Well then let's go through the AFC.
Okay,
So
this will be
Bills,
easy.
yeah, Bills win. Steelers and Broncos. I think the Steelers can get it done at home.
Yeah, I hope
Texans and
so.
Ravens. Are you gonna go with the Ravens or
I'm
not?
going with the Ravens.
Okay. So then that would mean the Bills would play the Ravens.
Yep, and we would play the Chiefs.
And y'all would play. No, I'm sorry. I messed up. Chiefs and Ravens. And then y'all would play the Bills. And you would go to Buffalo.
We're cooked. We're cooked either
Dude, I'm
way.
telling y'all, you'd rather play the Chiefs. Yo, you better be
Yeah,
hoping the Bills
I'd
get the
rather play
one
Chiefs.
seed. Bills need to get the one seed. Chiefs need to get the two seed, and y'all got to
How
go
did
to
the Bills not have the one seed? I understand the
because
record, but the Bills beat the
because
Chiefs.
because they're a game behind.
My God.
Chiefs are only got one loss, so you need the Chiefs to
Don't
lose.
worry, the Steelers will take care of that on Christmas.
Yeah, that's literally what you need,
I
actually.
think it'll happen. And of course, Patrick Mahomes is a full participant
So let's see then.
in
Steelers
practice.
beat the Broncos, and then they go to the Chiefs and beat the Chiefs. And then let's say the Bills make it all the way because they're looking
Then
great.
we're
Well,
cooked.
I don't know. Bills Ravens. You think that's a crazy game? I mean, probably.
I mean, yeah, I hope the Ravens would win, honestly.
So you'd rather play Lamar
I would
because y'all got
100%
their
rather play
number.
Lamar. Yeah, we got their number. We know how they work.
So that's the route for the Steelers right there.
Yeah,
Then okay,
Chiefs, then Ravens.
the
And
Chiefs.
then we're in the
Well, no,
Super Bowl.
Broncos can't disregard the
Oh, yep.
Broncos.
Can't forget about them ugly, ugly horses.
And it's funny because like at that point, y'all would have already played all of those teams in the regular
Yeah.
season. So that's kind of nice. But anyways, that's just something to think about.
Damn.
So that's crazy.
Yeah.
Playoff talks are getting wild. And then I just want to touch on one thing here, just any kind of news that's going on that we haven't touched on. Obviously the injuries for the Lions suck. Now, some other injuries in the league. My boy Youngway Koo hasn't been good this year. He got placed on IR, and I just want to say that I love Youngway Koo, but it's been a rough year.
Mhm.
So it's kind of crazy
It
that
has been a rough year.
they should have put him on IR a while ago if he was already
A
hurt.
minute ago, yeah.
To say all that, I wanted to say because the Falcons give me a lot
Yeah.
of a lot of problems, but
I
they
I
should
know
have
it's coming
benched
next.
should have benched Kirk a minute ago. Like at least after that, I don't even know that Broncos game. I don't know. They should have done it. Broncos game when we got smacked 38-6, should have benched them and we could have played Penix, and then you would have probably beaten the Chargers because you really beat the hell out of them, other than Kirk throwing like 4 picks, and you would have been
Yep.
fine because you would have had the same record at the worst as the Bucks, and you have the 2-0 against the Bucks, so like you're not even worried about that.
I think,
Now
dude,
you
I
got
think
to
the
pray.
Falcons can win out here, dude.
Well,
If
they
Michael
could.
Penix comes out and he's balling,
So they play the Giants, then they go Sunday Night Football at the
that's a dub.
Commanders.
That's a dub.
But let's say they go win out, right? They're 10-7. Now the only way they make the playoffs, there's two ways actually, I should say. First way that's easy is if the Bucks lose one single game and the Falcons just win out. Then the Falcons are in and the Bucks are out possibly. So
That's huge.
that's nice. But the Bucks play the Cowboys this week at Cowboys Sunday Night Football. Now that to me looks like a trap game. Like
Yeah.
they might could lose the Cowboys game, but I don't know if they really will. But they have like two divisional games at the end. It's really could be easy. Saints and Panthers, or Panthers and Saints, I believe. But at the same
Mm,
time, you never know. Like there's just
you never
injuries that
know.
happen. There's weird things that happen in the NFL. But the Falcons do need to take care of business. I mean, obviously beat the Giants, and then hopefully you can sneak out a W at the Commanders, which will be fire as far as a good game.
Dude, I think y'all can do it, dude. I'm just ready to see somebody mobile back
I
there.
don't even really care about the playoffs because it's not like I think the Falcons will do anything in the playoffs. I'm more of just like ready to see us win two out of the last three at the minimum, because that's what you should be doing. But possibly just win them all and then look good on offense. And then defense, it's like it is what it is. Y'all have had more sacks recently, but y'all still were the bottom of the league in sacks. So I mean, it is,
Yep.
you got to figure that out. But now you got to
Bottom of the league in sacks and number one in turnovers.
yeah, because the Kirk.
Yep.
Like, what are you supposed to do with that?
It's hard to
And you
do
were
anything
looking
with that.
good, 6-3, and you were first in the division. Man, it's just sad because like I just never have that much hope in the Falcons, but like when they pull you in, you're like, you know what, this is kind of different, and it's Kirk's cook and it's Kirk Tober. You're
Third
feeling
over.
nice. Nah,
We're taking. Nah, they
now it's
get
like, what do you do with Kirk? Do you trade him in the offseason? Probably,
sorry about that. Snap back to reality now.
literally. So, anyways, week 16 coming up is a big week for a lot of reasons. Now,
Mm.
Thursday night game coming up. This will be when people are watching or listening to the pod. Hopefully, this will be that night. So, tomorrow for us. But, anyways, 8:15 p.m. We got Chargers hosting the Broncos. Big for the AFC playoff wild card.
I got
Broncos.
Broncos,
You got Broncos at the
but it's at
Chargers.
the Chargers.
Now, Broncos just look
Um,
rough a little bit against the Colts, but they did come back and they wound up
yeah,
putting
but
putting
Justin
it on
Herbert
them.
might not play.
That's true. I might have to go with the Broncos just
If Justin
because
Herbert doesn't play, this Broncos all day.
I agree. I mean, but what do we know about Herbert? Let's just see.
I don't know, but I need to know. Let me
He's on
know.
your. Let's look at your fantasy
Yeah.
team. Let's see what he's like. Oh, he's healthy.
Oh, thank God.
He's
Okay.
he's playing. So now does this make you want to pick the Chargers?
But there's McConkey in because I heard
Yeah,
McConkey was
I'm
hurt.
pretty
He's
sure.
he's
I'm
in
pretty
as
sure
well.
he's playing.
What about is J.K. Dobbins has been
He
hurt
is
for a
not playing.
minute?
That's an issue. That's an
Yeah.
issue for sure. Now the line is like -3 for the Chargers. I don't know. I'm kind of
Basically, it's
torn on
even.
this.
It's basically even
Right. So
because
it's a home game.
it's a home game.
But
Mm.
what do you think, man? Do you think
I mean, LA's not that far from Colorado. Not
oh man.
far.
This is gonna
I
be
don't know.
a really close game. I don't
I,
know.
I mean, it's basically.
Uh you know what? Let's just talk about it. So Chargers have probably the better overall. I don't know, man, because the Broncos
I
defense
mean,
is
maybe their
nice,
defense.
but
Yeah,
the
no,
Broncos
Patrick
defense
Surtain.
is nice.
Wait,
And
isn't Patrick Surtain hurt?
he
I'm
was
pretty sure I
hurt,
saw him
but
getting limping off the
no, he's
field
good.
last
He's
week.
good. He's in there. He's not on the injury report. Now they are without their other corner, Riley Moss. He's out, and then they're out a couple other guys, but nothing too crazy.
Hmm.
I just don't know. I just don't know how to feel about this one.
I don't either. I want to. I'm really leaning towards Broncos, but I really don't know.
From some initial stuff that I'm seeing, the Broncos are 11-3 against the spread this season. So if they're a 3 point underdog, that means they're a good bet to really win the game.
I like the Broncos, and
I'm
I'm gonna go Broncos. I think.
probably gonna go Broncos, but it's just like I don't know. It's just weird.
I don't either. It might change tomorrow. Who knows?
We'll see. Chargers went from -3 to -2.5. It doesn't really mean a whole lot, I guess, but I think I'm gonna go Broncos too because I feel like a lot of people are gonna just take the home team -2.5. They're gonna see that and be like, yeah, they got that 3 point.
I mean, I would like to see the Chargers win because it would shake up the end of the playoffs right there for us. Because the Chargers and the Broncos are the last two teams in there.
Yeah. Damn.
So if the Broncos lost and the Chargers won, and then the other teams from the AFC were winning that are behind them,
Mm-hmm.
it might be a little bit of a battle there.
Yeah. Damn, dude, this is gonna be a good game though.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna go Broncos for now. I
but
really just am gonna flip a coin and see what
I like
happens.
it. I like
And in the
Broncos.
pick'em, I want to just let everybody know for the pod. Me and Seth have been killing it. Seth's actually the best right now. Let's look at the record.
I think I'm 153. Yeah.
153 wins on the season. So your record would be one. Actually, I don't know why it's like that, but let me see. I think it's 153 and 85 or something like that.
It's
And
not
then
awful.
I'm right there, but I've kind of this past week, I'm gonna be honest, like I was doing stuff to like try to like get ahead, but I knew it wasn't gonna work. I was just doing it for like, let's just
Yeah.
say like last second, the
I mean,
Seahawks could pull off a win against
yeah.
the Packers. Or like I was doing it literally just in the thought of like, I don't think I'm gonna catch Seth unless I go crazy. So
Unless they
but
think it's like, because
now
there's
I
only
feel
two
like
weeks left, right?
now at this point I feel like I got to play it safe and just like give myself a chance. But I don't even really give a shit. It's just more of like I want to at least be like right there. I don't really want Jack to pass me. That's the thing. 'Cause that boy loves the damn pick 'em.
I know he
It's so
does.
funny, bro. But
I
anyways,
love it.
next year we're going to put money on it.
We are putting money on it
This
next
is
year.
getting way too
We gotta,
competitive
yeah,
already.
we gotta put money on it.
But nah, Cody would have been good if he would have tried. He
I
just
know,
doesn't
dude.
always do the picks.
If there was money in it, bro, Cody would be right there with us.
Literally.
I mean, he's
But
still pretty close.
yeah,
Low key.
it's just crazy to see. I'm in second with like 152 or 150 wins. Wait, why is it? Oh
Damn,
no, you have 155. Your record, I'm sorry, I didn't look at it recently. Yeah, you're
I'm
155 and
five. I'm five up.
no, you're 3 up. You're
Yeah.
155 and 85, and I'm 152 and 88.
Okay, I'll take three up. So I
Yeah.
got three mistakes I have to
Because
make.
this last week I literally was like I picked the Chargers to beat the Bucks and they were looking good and then they just got rolled in the second half.
I loved
And
it.
I switched my pick last second to the Seahawks because I was trying to be different.
Mm-hmm.
And then y'all picked the fucking Rams and I picked the Niners because I was like, I'm gonna be different once
Mm-hmm.
again.
Yep.
Didn't work. So yeah. Anyways, week 16 games. That was the first one we previewed. So Broncos, Chargers. Now we got
Yeah.
Texans at the Chiefs with Mahomes possibly being hurt
No,
still,
he's
but he's
not.
good. But he's
He's
good
full
now.
participant the past 2 days,
Right. So we'll see how he gets,
which I hate.
going. Like he might get boomed a couple times, and maybe that takes him out, but we'll see. We'll see.
If he doesn't, then the next week, he
I
better be
just feel more
careful.
confident in the Chiefs than I do the Texans because the Chiefs feel like one of those teams where like obviously they're gonna win every game until it's like I don't know, the Bills or somebody, but like the Texans are just one of those weird teams. Like they're good at home, but damn, do they suck anywhere else. And
Damn good.
CJ Stroud cannot throw that rock anywhere else but home.
No,
In a dome, he cooks.
he does cook.
He reminds me of Tua. It's like they both are good, but it's like you put them in a cold environment on the road, and they're gonna be
They're
mid.
going to be cooked. I
Yeah.
mean, I would be mid probably.
Right. So I don't know. The Texans defense is solid. They really are, but maybe they can sneak it out, get a couple like pick sixes or something crazy. But I just Mahomes would probably just be handing the ball off to Pacheco, running that rock.
Yep.
No, I don't know if I should play Pacheco in the dynasty. I'm got to think about that, but we'll see. He hasn't done
Mm,
anything yet. Like this year, he hasn't done
what
anything.
is it? Yeah.
He's been hurt.
That
But like,
is a
is
scary
it a
thing.
Pacheco game? I don't
Is it a
know.
Pacheco game?
Is it a Pacheco? I just feel like the Chiefs are
Pacheco?
they're gonna run that rock with Pacheco a little bit,
I
but
hope so, man.
I don't know. Anyway, Steelers at the Ravens. Good lord, have y'all been through a
Man,
gauntlet recently?
I don't want to talk about it.
Do y'all finally just get a big dub in the biggest part of your season? Like, is that
We
gonna
need, dude. If
happen?
we don't have George back, I don't know if it's
It
possible.
looks like he's about to be out again.
I'm,
I just don't think y'all are gonna get it done if it's.
I'm, I'm,
Are y'all gonna? What are y'all
I'm
gonna do
lost for
differently
words.
than y'all did against the Eagles? Like, what did you see that's like we got to do something different?
Um, let's get the ball moving.
How? Like, what's the recipe?
The recipe is
You got to throw it against the Ravens, right? Because they don't
you
have a good
gotta throw it.
secondary.
You gotta throw it
And
against the
I'm thinking
Ravens.
about playing Russ, but I can't because if he doesn't have George,
Dude, we literally don't have Mike Williams is old as fuck.
so you're relying on Van Jefferson and
Van
Pat
Jefferson
Fryermuth,
and Pat
Calvin
Fryermuth.
Austin.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one of those games that like the defense is gonna have to win it.
Dude, and TJ Watt is still hurt. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
he only rolled his ankle and it
he's
was
gonna
a
play,
negative.
but it's gonna be like he's still banged up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well,
I'm nervous.
I'm gonna go Ravens.
Um,
They are favored by 6.5, which is a lot, kinda.
well, you could win that one because I've gone Steelers every single time, and
All
I
right,
will
I'll
continue
take.
to do
Yeah,
so.
let me get a free win, man. Come
I
on.
will never not pick the Steelers.
Because I mean, I don't blame you because they're one of those teams that are always in it.
Always
Um,
in.
Now Rams, they're gonna clap the Jets, but you know if they do lose that, that's kind of a problem because
Yeah.
they're trying to win their division. Obviously, them and the
Yep.
Cardinals and the Seahawks. Eagles at the Commanders, though. How do you see that game going? Eagles are favored by 3.5.
I think the Eagles shit.
Mm,
I think the Eagles are a little bit on a roll here with the way they're passing. I mean, at
yeah.
least against our defense last week, they were.
I feel like the
Yes,
problem with the Commanders is that they need another weapon on the outside. It's
they
like,
do.
let's
Terry's
say,
good, but
yeah, like Terry's good, but it's like, let's say you did have a T. Higgins or something.
ooh,
Like, that's a nasty core. And you
that's
can run the ball with
disgusting.
Brian Robinson and Eckler, but like, I don't trust
And
them
Zach
against the
Ertz is
Eagles
too.
defense. So I'm going to go with the Eagles too.
I like Eagles.
Um, Titans and Colts, that's not a good game. So, I mean,
I'm going
ugly.
Colts.
Browns, Bengals, ugly. Lions,
Yeah,
Bears, again, ugly. Vikings at the Seahawks. Word just came in that Gino has been practicing, even though he got hurt.
yep, I saw that full participant.
So the Seahawks need to win because they're trying to win that division like the Rams are, and they're tied with them as the record goes right now. But Vikings are favored by 3. What do we think about that? Vikings still get the dub,
Um, Zach Charbonnet did not practice.
so they got both running backs are kind of hurt, but Ken Walker should play.
No, I think Vikings get this dub.
Yeah, I do
Easy.
too. I do too.
I mean,
Seahawks
Vikings
are
look
just
like on a
hurt
roll.
right now.
Yeah, they're hurt bad
Offense is
right now.
banged up. Then some other mid games, Pats
Mm.
and Bills, Jags and Raiders. Now this one's
I don't even
interesting.
know who would win that game. The Jags and
Jags and
Raiders.
Raiders? Nah, don't even
That's a
know.
mid fest.
I'd probably go with
Damn.
I'd probably go with the Jags because of Brian Thomas, low key,
Dude, really all the good games are
early.
before Sunday.
They're really bad this week.
They are very bad.
What about Dolphins and the Niners at home for the Dolphins?
Dolphins are winning.
Okay.
49ers looking
The spread's only
looking
one and a
poverty.
half though.
They're looking poverty.
Dolphins are mid too, but I mean, hey,
Yeah, but
I don't know. I something about that is a little fishy. A little fishy. That's all I'm
I
saying.
think Dolphins are winning, probably. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
But
I just
that's
think the
that
49ers
spread,
are
the
looking
spread's low
washed.
there. 1.5 is low for a
It's
home
because they
game.
don't know. They're both washed.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna go Dolphins for now because I do have A-Chain and Tua in my lineup for that other garbage team that I have. I don't even speak on them anymore.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm keeping A-Chain though. But Bucks and Cowboys, we already mentioned that at the Cowboys. Cowboys are okay, I guess. I don't
All
know.
right. I mean, I really don't know either. Cooper Rush almost
They're
saved me
running that
last week in
ball.
Dynasty.
Rico Dowdle, he's running it, you know. He's been running it. I mean, he's been looking better.
Yep, could have ran it a little bit harder.
What about
That's
Mike?
big
Mike
feeling.
Evans needs to average like 80 or what's the number? 86 something yards a game to get
Yeah,
his a
I
thousand
think so.
yards.
Like that, yeah. For how
Cowboys
many seasons is that in a row? Ever since he was
like
in the league?
12 or something, 13.
Yep, that's so cool.
So cool. Bucks though have a weaker secondary. Maybe CD Lamb feast, but I do think Mike Evans will feast
I
against
think,
Trayvon Diggs.
yeah, and I mean they got Jerome Bland back too.
Ooh, so interesting. I mean, maybe this is a better game than we think. Bucks are
It
favored
might
by
be.
4 though at the Cowboys.
I think the Cowboys is crazy.
So
Which I mean, it isn't a
Vegas is thinking
dome.
Bucks are winning.
I mean, Baker's looking like
Yeah,
an
Baker in a
animal.
dome might be a problem.
Might be a problem with Mike Evans and.
And you got Bucky and Rashad White.
Yeah,
I'm going Bucks, even though I
I'm going
do
back.
not
Do
want
not
them to
want to
win.
go. No.
But at this point, you know what I was looking at? The Falcons, I feel like honestly would rather be the wild card because I think if the Commanders lose to the Eagles, they're 9-6, right? Falcons
Yeah.
beat the Giants, they're 8-7. So then Falcons at the Commanders next Sunday Night Football is a battle for the wild card.
Wow, literally.
If the Falcons beat the Commanders, they have the tiebreaker and they're both
Yeah.
9-7.
So y'all
Going
are
in, well, you got to beat the Panthers last week. So that's all they'd have to do is beat the Giants, beat the Commanders, have the tiebreaker, but also Commanders would need to lose to the Eagles. That's the first thing. But
yeah.
that's going to happen, I think. So, I
I
mean,
think it's
like,
gonna happen too.
realistically, and I don't want to suck myself back in, pause, no diddy, but would rather have the chance to just see Penix get us at least a chance at the playoffs
A
other than Kirk
chance.
Cousins. A
Yeah, no.
chance.
Dude,
He's hacking.
I'm gonna so you're just gonna hack.
So you're just going to hack,
Dude, I'm
Kirk.
gonna love to see Penix take
I
that first
know.
snap.
I can't wait. And he's a
That's
lefty.
gonna
It's
be
just
exciting.
different.
Whoa, that's gonna be weird
Yeah,
to
he's
see.
slinging that lefty.
Slinging that lefty.
Well, Monday night's a mid game. Don't even know why
Yeah.
this is a Monday night. This is sad. Saints at the
Mm-mm.
Packers. I feel like the Packers are going to play Malik Willis half the game.
Probably.
Just to rest old Jordan Love.
Who even is the Saints quarterback?
Dude, it's Spencer Rattler.
Oh, but who was that other guy that was
Jake
playing?
Hayner, he got hurt, I think.
Dude, who even is that
He
guy?
was quarterback at like Indiana.
What the fuck, dude?
He's been a meme though. Like
I saw him
his
looking just like
pictures.
a dude off the street. They picked him
Oh
up at
my
a
god.
college frat.
Dude, this guy's hilarious. But that's a 14.5 favorite for the Packers. I'd hammer that.
Good lord.
They're
I'm
winning by
hammering
they're
that.
winning by 20.
I'm putting 100,000 on that to win 100,001.
That's crazy though. That's such a bad Monday night game.
It is very bad.
Well, that's pretty much it for the show. I know Cody's not here, so it could have been a little bit more entertaining because he's the menace, obviously, of the
Here's the
pod.
menace.
We had to take a bye. It's been our like third bye this year, but I think
Yeah,
it's been valid buys.
yeah, they've been valid buys.
We'll be back to posting content. I'm gonna probably post the clip for all these playoff games that we just previewed for college, and then some of the bigger NFL games. So I'm gonna be trying to get on that because I feel like I gotta keep going. Also, TikTok might be banned soon. So I mean,
Dude, I saw that.
if that happens, if that actually goes through and they don't get saved by somebody at the last second, we're
We're
gonna be
cooked.
we're gonna be posting more on Instagram. And I have seen that like they're doing something with their algorithm to help people get their content out to more new
Yeah.
people instead of just your
And
followers.
I mean, I'm sure
There will be a
there's gonna
new
be
app.
something
Yeah.
new. Yeah.
So if there's a new app, best believe we're gonna be on there immediately, and we're gonna be trying to grow fast, and
Quick.
that could be a good thing. So
That could be very good.
just got to keep doing what we're doing. Clearly we got a lot to learn because this is still brand new to us in a way. So we're gonna
First
be
season.
Yeah,
First
just
season.
first season, we're just feeling it out. But I'm interested to see how it goes the rest of the way this football season for all the teams that we support, and then it's gonna be fun talking about the draft process again.
Hell
And
yeah.
then
I'm
NBA is
excited.
NBA is a little underwhelming right now, but
Yeah.
I want to talk about that still because there's some stuff that's interesting.
Yeah.
But then the college basketball, March Madness, all that good stuff. So yeah, we got stuff to look forward to. But for now, we're in football season, and this is the grind of all
We're
grinds.
in the nitty-gritty here.
This next month. So all right, we'll talk to you guys next week. This is the Muffed
Yeah.
Sports Show. I'm your host Hayden Haynes. That's Seth Killen, and we'll
Yes,
see y'all
sir.
boys next week. All right,
See ya.
brother.